Hello, everyone. Welcome to Humblewood Yonderbound, Season 2 of our Humblewood campaign, formerly Humblewood the Unwanted Winter. Yes, I was bullied into a Season 2. Yes, it was very easy to do. Have you seen these people? They're incredible. Of course, I want to play more with them. I am Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I'm your GM for this game, as I am for many games here on Sword and Key, because I am the sword half of Sword and Key. And I am going to unmute myself in Google as our tech person has asked me to do. There we go. Captions. Captions. Hey, I've done this before. It's been a while for this one specifically. So this is gonna be great. It's gonna be maybe a little bit of learning curve as we ease back into these lovely characters in this wonderful world. And I should say at the top that this adventure, this Humblewood adventure, is leaning very heavily on this is a train that is running on tracks that are being built as we go, in the sense that the world of Humblewood is based on Hit Point Press's wonderful book of Humblewood. It circles all around the Alderheart and the specific Humblewood itself, which is a small part of a much greater world called Everden. And we are going to be leaving the Humblewood and all of the wonderful things those people wrote and going to a playtest material that is 2 pages long, and building an entire campaign around that. So I'm going to say things that aren't canon. I'm going to even last season, I reference things that so far have been like renamed, recanonized, whatever. We're just here to have a good time. Hit Point Press, if you want to use some of this stuff, I will give it to you for $1. Otherwise, yeah, this is it's probably going to change. It's probably going to be different things. Again, playtest materials. We even have 2 characters that I believe still are using non-official race options. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I do want to say that this campaign is also in support of Fauna and Flora International, same as it was last season. So if you are looking to donate to a great cause, and also like check out an amazing merch shop with a lot of pangolin options, it's good to have some pangolin options. You can check out Fauna and Flora International. You can also donate through the Tiltify link below. It's much appreciated. We did a lot of great work for them last season. I would love to continue that. No, I'm going to say one more thing before I have these other people introduce themselves. If you want to check out more Sword and Key stuff, just check out beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You're going to see some of our affiliates during the ad break. You can check out all the links there. You can also see our ongoing other philanthropic campaigns, our socials, all that kind of stuff, all in one nice, neat place. Okay, all that said, let's go around. Let's have these lovely people introduce themselves. And if you want to, I mean, if this is a recurring character, um, maybe introduce yourself. Probably introduce yourself. If you are a new character, feel free to maybe like hold back on it a little bit. So Shadow, you are top left for me. I'm sorry to tell you. If you don't mind going first.
I get to go first. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. I am Shadow Sylvia, Shadow or Sylvia. Totally fine. I use she, her pronouns. And I will be once more picking up the lovely role of our beloved bard, College of the Road, Lupu, which is the rabbit folk, for those of you who don't remember and or didn't tune in last season, called Clarence, who uses they, he pronouns. Yeah. Clarence still believes in you. That's pretty much it. I think. Maybe. Why did I go first, Derek? Okay,
I don't know. Okay. You're so excited.
So excited.
That is very clear. Clarence believes you and
stuff.
I don't know. Just like
You're I gotta go. Really cool.
Also, thank you to Anniek. Queon, please enjoy first advantage of our campaign. So awesome. Shout out to you. Next up, we have Liz.
I was not prepared. But yeah, now that I look at the screen, that totally makes perfect sense. Hi.
Just to prep the next few people. Then it goes Queon, then Anniek, and then Kristen last. So
everybody's
just
prepared.
So you know who's,
Thank you.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, folks, I'm Liz, and last season I played Marley. Rip. But I'm back, and I'm really excited to share my new character with you. Her name is Betty. As you can see in the overlay, she uses she, her pronouns, but she's a bit of an enigma at the moment. So I hope that you enjoy. Betty and everything that she brings to the table.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next enigma, Queon.
Oh no. Hello, hi, I am Keon. I go by Brother Keon across all of the internets. And I will be playing Soren. He uses he, him pronouns. He is a very unlucky, terribly unlucky even, Tilia, which is just like a little gecko guy. Circle of Sand Druid, and he loves singing and making new friends. He does not mean he's good at singing. He just loves doing it.
Incredible. I can already see the duets. Maybe, yeah, I was gonna say Mochi might get on that, but definitely duets with parents. Um, thank you so much, Ken. Next up, speaking of Mochi, Anniek.
Hi, my name is Anniek. You can find me on the internet at Anniekster. I go by she, they pronouns, and I play Mochi, the Undeterred, a Maypag, which is basically a little raccoon. She goes by she, her pronouns. And, is it really a religious schism if your goddess comes to you in the bath and says you're cool? I don't think it is. And I think we're going to have a great next season.
That is a question for greater religious minds than myself. Last but absolutely not least, Christian.
Hey everybody, hi, my name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, all over the internets. I'm a TTRPG performer, educator, and event coordinator here in the space. My pronouns are he, him, and my character, Argus Ironclaw, his pronouns are he, him. I should say King Argus Ironclaw at this point, or just King Ironclaw. A lot happened this past season, and I'm excited to see where it goes. He is a Strig, which is an owl person, fighter that loves to use everything as a weapon. So.
One of my favorite things about him, although he does have a really badass weapon that he has inherited, sort of. Come into the possession of.
Yeah, I mean, like when you commit patricide, you kind of inherit a lot of things.
I wasn't going to use the word, but yes. You know, it's sometimes when you inherit things from your parents, sometimes you do it by force.
Yeah.
Incredible. Okay. This is season 2 of Humblewood. We don't have a recap because this is actually we kind of should have a recap a little bit. So let me kind of tell you what all happened last season. Let's see if I can do this in under a minute. You all had been experiencing a 5-year winter in the Humblewood itself. Snows had been piling up. Your small town, always in need of food for a population that was dwindling due to just, the winter being super harsh on a people all about. Had gone to the Humblewood because the Humblewood had gone to the Alderheart rather, because the Alderheart is the center, the metropolis of the Humblewood itself, and that's where the grain stores were for all of the other villages in the outskirts that kind of ran out of their own stores. You had gone there. Marley, actually not her real name, had been kind of hiding out in your little town, a thing that Argus was also doing, by the way. Actually, you all were kind of hiding out in that little town, come to think of it. From your own little bits of past. And but Marley caught the eye of a familiar face from her past, a person who had gone to rise to the High Council of the Alderheart. He had informed Marley, and thereby all of you, that he suspected that this winter was actually being manufactured, and sent you all on a quest to try and stop this winter. Along the way, you met bandit camps, including a familiar bandit to Argus, someone with whom he now shares a much more intimate relationship with. You made your way to the Avium, the high college of the Humblewood, the high magical college, where Mochi's mom works, and Clarence had found success, but not really a passion. You met another friend there, a small hummingbird-like friend, who guided you into the secret library, whereupon you met a necromantic skull, a demi-lich that tried to tempt you all, but also helped you solve the puzzle of what had happened there. You came to find that Argus's father, the Bandit King, the High Bandit King, had actually launched a burglary, had broken into the Avium and stolen a very powerful magic item. So onto the bandit camps you went. Teleporting your way into the mountains, you discovered the aftermath of what the Bandit Kingdom had been up to, which was really some devastating stuff. They had taken out an entire druidic order, leaving only one with a mountaintop observatory. That druid, finally having a person that he could pass on the observatory to, passed into the ether and left the observatory to Mochi. Continuing on from there, you made your way to the bandit camp. All the while, Marley had been harboring a secret from you all, a fiery passion in her heart that had been connected to the elemental being of fire itself, someone who had been slowly building Marley up to a blaze. And in the bandit camp itself, Argus faced off against his father in a one-on-one fight, ultimately defeating his father and saving his brother from his tyrannical rule. Uh, at the same time, Marley was unable to further contain the fire within, and the bandit camp was set ablaze. You were able to save a lot of it, but your bonds of friendship a little weakened from that. Nevertheless, you discovered that the ultimate goal was from members of the High Council to lessen the population of the Humblewood and thereby gain ultimate control and martial law over the Humblewood, thereby making themselves ultimately powerful and ruling over everybody, not just representatives but dictators. So you use the machinations of the council members and the Bandit King themselves to teleport, accuse them, and finally have one final face-off against those council members. Those council members did make it to the top of the Alderheart, where they had this magical item, this gem of winter, that they had been using to summon and retain this winter for 5 years, and in so doing had opened a portal to the realm of ice. Only through the ultimate sacrifice of Marley, by unleashing the elemental fire within, were they able to stop this unending winter, defeat the ultimate enemy. Unfortunately, it was an ultimate sacrifice, and Marley was no more. That is where we kind of pick up now. It's at least several months later. So the snows have ended. It was late spring, I think mid-late spring, when you all concluded your adventure, when you had that final fight. So when the snows stop and the clouds part, it takes time. But the snows do recede. They melt. Unfortunately, that leads to a few issues in the Humblewood, it being a forest with some permafrost that had been there for 5 years, so we all deal with just a little bit of flooding. A lot of the towns have some issues where they begin to stilt up their houses, or build raft systems. There's a lot of flotillas, and people kind of living on their second stories or even their roofs for a period of time. But eventually, trenches are dug, and the waters are able to be absorbed by the mighty trees, the city-sized trees that occupy the Humblewood. So months later, it's still not all gone. It's very muddy. It is hard to kind of like take a cart along a track. It's a very very muddy venture. But we are getting into almost mid to late summer at this point. So the intensity of the sun, again, the trenches that have been dug to lead the water out towards the ocean, you almost have these like makeshift riverways at this point that all kind of lead out from the Humblewood. They're not all full of water still, but they're helping to divert a lot of the mud and water. So months later, you all were gathered by Lord Asher, the Badger Lord who had gathered you all, who had sent you on this mission in the first place, and he gathered you back at the Alderheart in the central market where statues of heroes are often placed. And he revealed to you a statue that was being carved of Marley, one of the heroes of the Humblewood who gave all so that the winter could end. But as he did, he also made note that he needed you all for another task, that your adventures together were not necessarily over just yet. So that's where we ended our last campaign. That's where we ended our last season. What I would like to know is, in between that point of Marley's sacrifice and that final battle, and saving the council, saving the Humblewood, and then all of the muds receding, everything like that, and you all coming back to the Alderheart, what did that look like? Where were you all in that intermittent time? What were you all up to? You know, some of you were kings, some of you were heads of observatories and new cults. Some of you might not have been part of the saving of winter altogether, but would have experienced kind of the aftermath and the winter itself. So let's go ahead and go around. I'm not going to do this in the same order, so let's actually start with Mochi.
Perfect.
So Mochi, what would you have been up to? You do have family at the Alder Heart, but you also had like priorities elsewhere. Where might the months have taken you?
Yeah, family at the Alder Heart. Mom's still at the magic school. I have my own observatory. Again, it's not technically a schism. Hath is down with my cult. Lots of tending to the flock. But before people start imagining like Mochi having an amazing glow up like Argus and probably Clarence, when winter started, Mochi was 3. Mochi is now 8. This is her first summer. Mochi is minimizing responsibilities and basically living her brat girl summer life. There's chilling on the beach. There's visiting friends. There's, generally causing chaos. She'll cause chaos like as a hobby. That doesn't have to be for Hath. It can also be for herself. But yeah, Mochi's gonna be all over the place. Heavily leaning on magically inclined friends for teleportation spells. Has already been threatened with steep fines if she won't stop abusing the sending spell. She is a menace this summer. Like, she's an 18-year-old who just saved the world and is on a beach for the first time in her life.
Yeah, she's the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mochi, you find yourself on the beach. Let me get a map pulled up here.
Like I said, I'm sorry for everyone who was hoping for epic growth and glow-ups. No,
this is a teenager who basically believes that she's God. Yeah, this is this is rough. Okay. So you absolutely, weirdly enough, there are beaches as part of the Humblewood. Let's see here. I didn't realize I would need a map this early.
Yeah, neither did we, to be honest.
We're here for.
No, I just like how I was like, yeah, Argus is a king now, he has responsibilities, and I was like, man, Mochi's 18, she saved the world, she's got magic, she's not doing shit.
You know what? You can organize everything, but at the end of the day, if you don't remember where you put it, does it really matter? Okay. So I think the main place that Mochi would want to go is Salter's Port. That is where most ships take off from. There is like Tide Watch. Tide Watch is more of like a lighthouse. It's raised up. It's like a rocky cliff. Salter's Port has kind of a small sandy, slightly rocky beach to it, but it does have like a heavy cliffside, and then there's like a switchback stairway that leads down to the beach itself. So I have to imagine that Mochi is just like board under the arm, running back and forth down these stairs as like sailors are trying to carry up goods. Like, again, this is a port for trade. So go ahead, Mochi, go ahead and give me an athletics roll for your first surf here.
Yeah. Alright, so when I said I put a point in bodyboarding, I did train Mochi in athletics. Because I knew this was gonna happen.
This is gonna be incredible. I'm so excited.
19 total.
Fantastic. Okay. I can't tell you anything besides the fact that you are absolutely incredible at surfing. Like, first thing, it's just the board hits the waves, like your body sleek with water, all of that raccoon oil, just
love this.
Just right into the surf. The wave cuts through, and in no time, like, you are out beyond the breakers, beyond the ships themselves, and just like cutting through the waves. You notice that there are some other folk out here as well. There is a parrot, like a bright red parrot looking individual. There's a couple of lupu as well, with like their ears kind of slicked back along their heads.
Mochi's
And
taking
they're all
note
just
of
kind of
like the slicked back ears. I was like, oh, I have to tell Clarence. They look so good in that.
yeah, they really do, and they're all like sitting on their boards and like, yeah,
They're just so cool.
get it, Mopak, for sure.
Okay, Mochi's gonna take half a second to observe this. Yeah, dudes. Right on.
They like that. That's good. You can put surfer dude under your languages now. Yeah.
So there is like Mochi will be out on the waves during the day, hanging out with people. There is still also recruiting to be done. So she is learning the server slang partly because, you know, if we're transposing some real world things onto server people, they do tend to be a little crunchy. So Mochi's hoping that maybe they might be open to some cultish options around the bonfire at night with plenty of inebriation and, you know, just telling about this really cool big Maypack. Ugh. She's so chill.
Especially at night when you can point up to the stars and maybe like even see the constellation. Yeah. So yeah, at night you can create a bonfire a little bit further away from the docks themselves, kind of along the beach. There's a little cove. There are houses built into the stone face, the cliff face here. I have to ask, Liz, is Betty located near Salter's Port?
It's a great question. During the winter, would Salter's Port have been like completely frozen over? Is it on the ocean?
It is on the ocean. Yes.
Okay,
So Salter's Port. Yes, please.
Have
Yeah.
that map in World Resources in the Discord.
Yes, I will create a map that doesn't look as frozen, but yes,
You
Salter's
can
Port
see where it is.
is right on the water there, and it is the main trade route. So to get to the outside world, that is what you would use as Salter's Port if you are coming from the Humblewood. If you're coming from some of the less reputable ports, you might be coming from Riverhorn Keep, which is kind of a piratey sort of hideout. It's like where the bandits who are looking to fence goods back and forth between pirates. It's right at the tail end of the bandit fort, the Crest Mountains, where the bandit fortress is. So less reputable sailors might come into that port. But if you're looking to trade between anywhere else and the Alderheart, Salter's Port is the legitimate place.
Okay, that's probably where she would be then. She doesn't really strike me as like an underhanded kind of person. Someone who would be dealing in shady deals. So,
Okay.
Yeah, she'd probably be there.
Okay. So one night, Betty, maybe just out and about near the surf of the Song Sea, that is the ocean that is to the east of the Humblewood. Kind of as that night tide is pulling in and out, that very soft crashing. You might see someone garnering a lot of attention down a little bit further away. You can see the light of a bonfire kind of illuminating off of these cove walls, where it's kind of creating this shadow of this Mapak, as far as you can tell, who is just everyone is enraptured. As like it seems like even starlight is glinting off of like the fur of this Mapak, and even within the shadow itself, there's something magical about this individual that might catch your eye.
Oh, yeah. I think we'd probably walk up and kind of like stand at the back edge of everybody else who's gathered around, not like wanting to intrude, but just kind of quietly observing from the back.
Liz, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and describe Betty for us. We have artwork, but we've seen most.
Yeah. Shout out to Kaila for adding the artwork to the overlay. Betty is a driftkin. She's an otter folk. So she's tall, sleek. She's a little bit muscular. When she rolls up in the middle of the night, she's probably been out fishing. So she's probably got a hook slung over one arm, over one shoulder, and a net filled with fish in the other. Just kind of wandering by, heading back to drop off the fish wherever she would be taking them to in the port to sell them. So generally she rolls up with just very casual. She's got just like a vest on with patches and mismatched buttons all over the place. She's pretty casual. So just kind of like slouching by, I think. she's probably aware of how tall she is, so she probably kind of like slouches at the middle to make herself look a little bit shorter at the back of this group of people, so nobody like really notices her.
Okay. So Anniek, Mochi would probably notice as she's giving this speech, talking about the Amaranthine, talking about Hath, uppies for Hath, that, and with all these teenagers that you have kind of garnered the attention of, there's an older individual, not old, but there is more of an adult presence that is kind of like is slinking by, and the glint of the billhook catches your eye. All these patches. This is someone that's probably has your has the attention, but also like is carrying around a bunch of smelly fish. Like this isn't the cool dudes you've been hanging out with, and yet I think there's probably something that because that sets them apart, definitely catches your eye. That difference to it.
Might be a high priestess pope cult leader at this point, but Mochi does come from scroungecraft, right? Someone carrying around a bunch of hooks smelling like fish. And, considering what her dad usually carries around, fish, not the weirdest option. The main concern is, oh no, an adult figure, what if they tell me I have to stop? I will have to do something terrible to them because that would be rude.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Well, I'm having fun. You can't tell me to stop having fun. That would be rude. Wouldn't do something terrible to you. You're carrying fish. Fish is delicious. But she'll mainly keep her spiel on the server people she's been working on, because when you're trying to reel someone in metaphorically, you have to keep your focus on them, or some other god will swoop in. So she'll keep working on, she'll keep an eye on said otter. I don't know if her name is Betty, but we'll keep an eye on the otter. But the main focus is still the people that, it takes one little uppies for half, and you're counted in my books.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a religion check, please.
First roll of the game.
Second.
Oh.
Second.
Oh, yes. Sorry, the bodyboarding, yes.
Yeah.
So fun fact, I finally trained Mochi in religion.
Okay, that's good.
At level 8, she took religion. Okay. Oh god, it's int-based. Would you take a 16?
I mean, I'll take whatever you give me. That's okay.
Look, her intelligence isn't great, okay? It's a wisdom-based everything.
It's one of those things
that
I think like
better.
It's not like, I think religion should be called like theology. It's not just knowing about your own faith; it's about knowing about all faiths. So
I can't do scripture or anything. I just know in my heart what is true.
Yes, absolutely. You are. Oh, you're an evangelist. Okay. So, yes, Mochi, you are giving an impassioned call to Hath, to the prayer to Hath, and there are definitely some Mappak there whose eyes are like sparkling like starlight, that are just like enamored with you. Some Mappak that are even younger than yourself. But there's a few others there. There's maybe some
younger.
that you might.
I'm legally an adult.
You are legally an adult, which is terrifying. You're like kobold rules. So there are some others who are just kind of like, you see there's some folk that might not even be from the Humblewood, some goat-like individuals. There's maybe even like one larger badger or wolverine type individual who kind of just came over for the fire and looks up at you and just and just kind of like wipes their hands and walks away. You get a few who aren't as interested, but the younger individuals, the surfers, are like, Hath.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, High Priestess Mochi, does Hath guide me both during the day and at night? Can the stars see me even when I can't see them?
Yeah. The thing is, Hath, super busy. And, sometimes, with the waves, you're just gonna have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And just write it out,
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll guide you.
Go with the flow, write it out. Hell yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna change religions, guys. I don't care what my parents say. I'm a half man now.
Uppies for half, man.
Uppies for
Uppies
half, y'all. Yeah. Betty, I leave it to you if you would like to be one of the individuals that leaves or one of the individuals that kind of sticks around out of morbid curiosity.
Well, I think
Or
Betty
maybe you
actually.
buy in. I don't know. Yeah.
I actually think Betty kind of sees this as a bit of an opportunity. Like as folks are kind of milling around, like after this impassioned sermon, she's pausing to ask people if they'd like to buy a fish so that they can have dinner and discuss more about Hath around the bonfire. So she's literally just like, hey, I brought dinner. Do you want some? Would you like to sit and talk about Hath?
A wonderful business opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There are there's definitely some Mopok. You see there's some other Driftkin as well. There's like there's a younger Driftkin otter folk similar to yourself who takes the fish and he goes, "Thank you, ma'am. Do you think I should change religions?"
I think you should do whatever your heart calls you to.
It says to eat fish, so that's what I'm going to do.
Great.
Marley, go ahead and roll me a d20. No modifiers in it. Or not Marley.
That's Betty.
Betty.
It's gonna take a minute. I got you.
Sorry, it's her ghost.
I know. All right. That is a solid 17.
Okay, I'll say you get 17 gold, or 17
heck.
of the currency, which we'll still use gold, silver, copper, just for the equivalent. They have names.
Nice.
So yeah, extra 17 gold pieces from selling these fish, and that's also from some people who were just like, yeah, you know, I need to fill my stomach after all that hot air, you know, all that BS, you know.
Well, you know,
those bad sayings, you know.
those bad
BS.
say for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I think, you know, everybody's entitled to what they believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The night goes on. Mochi, you garner your audience, and you see that there's someone else who's kind of like, not grifting, but like you people are eating now as well. Like this is becoming kind of a community thing. I think maybe that's something even you learn in like early Amaranthine seminary, is that one of the best ways to bond with a person is to converse over a meal. It's a cultural sort of tie that's ineffable to all humble folk. And so you kind of like are feeling this deeper connection as you see this Driftkin doling out fish.
Mochi will also go buy a fish because hungry after a full day of surfing. The whole bonding over food thing, like, yes, deeper level connection, etc. Also, at the same time, don't talk with your mouth full. Like, it never quite tracked for Mochi.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll go buy a fish. I mean, food good.
I think as Mochi approaches, Betty's just like, you certainly have a way with words.
Oh, thank you. I don't suppose you have like whitefish, flatfish.
Betty
crawfish?
literally just like reaches into the net and pulls out a fish. I don't know what fish are. Personally, me, Liz, doesn't know anything about fish, so she just literally just passes over whatever Mochi's looking for, because obviously she knows.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm so
Mochi-
sorry, Liz. I need you to roll an animal handling check.
Oh god. The fish have definitely suffocated by now. Come on.
They have. I just need to know what type of fish this is.
Oh, okay.
And if it's a 1, it's definitely a puffer fish. If it's
Oh.
a 20, it's a
Oh,
Mochi
okay,
with a
okay.
pufferfish?
All right. No, that's a nat 20, so that's 23.
Okay, you pull out like a shark. Like this is
Sweet.
yeah.
Yep, there you go.
I feel like it is important to point out before Derek gets even wilder. Mochi has poison resistance.
Yeah.
For like that's a Maypack race trait because
I
of
love that.
the things we eat.
They
in
eat
general.
anything. Yeah.
We
No,
eat
it's just,
anything.
it's like it's the legit. It's like when they give it to dwarves because like, hey, dwarves drink a lot. Hint, hint. And they're like, hey, Mopok just eats straight fucking trash. You know.
Straight garbage.
Straight garbage. Look, we talked about this before the stream. It's trash can, not trash cannot.
That's
very true.
Oh.
She will pay you the correct amount of currency. Because even more worrisome than being a teenager who thinks she's a god, she's a teenager who thinks she's a god with money. We got treasure for adventuring, and now she's not adventuring. Like, he was saving for healing potions, and she's not. So, she'll overpay because, why not? You sound nice.
Yeah, I think in that moment, Betty kind of sees this as like a nice business opportunity. So I think we'll make a mental note to keep coming back in the evenings as the sermons continue. If she notices it, she'll bring by fish each evening and kind of build up that rapport with Mochi.
Okay.
Mochi's merely ignoring the people who weren't interested in her salmon and is doing the charcoal raccoon masks on the people who did want to join because it's fun.
And the nights do go by to where this does become a salmon sermon, and the two of you, I think, people come and go. The surfers come and go, the sailors come and go, but Mochi's kind of like having her hot raccoon summer. Betty kind of lives here, sort of. So I think that the two of you, one night after like everyone else has left the bonfire, just kind of find yourselves sitting on these driftwood logs that have washed up, or at least parts of them. Maybe even like parts of trees from far, far away that have worn away and been bleached by the sun and kind of like hardened and near petrified. And sitting on like kind of cat a corner from one another on the fire. I feel like the conversation maybe gets a little bit deeper than just, hat, fish, hat, yes, fish, yes.
I think for Mochi, a lot of it will depend on how business-like Betty stays. Because Mochi will overshare, but on a very superficial level. So Betty will have heard everything about Volderol and his dirty feet and how amazing Clarence is. And, you probably had to listen to like a solid 2 hours of speculation on whether or not Argus and Cake Queen already got married or if they're planning to elope. And like I said, oversharing, but on the superficial level.
I love the fact that by the time Betty like officially meets everybody else from the group, she like already knows the backstory and she feels like she's just already a part of the party.
Exactly.
That's great.
You'll have learned everything about mom, dad, siblings. Like, you're not sure if she has 3 or 18 at this point. Basically, everyone who ever visits this house is considered family, so it just keeps adding up.
And I think Betty would have opened up. I think she would have told Mochi about her life. Like, she's never lived anywhere else. She's always lived here in the port. Her family were fisher people, so she's always had like a little boat, and she's gone out in her boat before like she could even really properly swim. She was helping on the boat, and so she has always been here, and she's never been anywhere else, never been on an adventure, just a little hometown gal who peddles her fish. Very, very simple. Mochi's probably got some problems after Barley being like, oh no, I'm just a baker.
You mean Harlow?
Yes,
Mochi's
exactly.
got issues. Okay, Mochi, a little insight on this little hometown otter? Never been anywhere?
Just here. I'm just here.
Just here. Okay, well, I'm actually going to, while you're talking about your boat and your home and your everything, first off, Mochi would like to propose a trade. You take her out on her boat and she takes you to like the Alderheart and the Atrium and, travel together. It'll be great. It'll be fine. Well, I'll take care of you and you take care of me, because that's how adventuring parties sort of do, because nobody's good at everything.
Girly
And,
vacation. I love this plan.
You don't even have to like believe in Hath or anything. Like that's just like a bonus, the whole cult thing. And I will use one of my rolls from Invoke the Amaranthine Derek to get a natural 20 on insight,
Oh,
making it a 27.
Oh,
Okay.
dang.
Are you really just from around here, babe?
Yeah, as far as you can tell, she's telling you the honest truth.
Okay.
She's just literally just a simple coastal otter who's never been anywhere.
So the plan still stands, but having decided to believe you, Mochi will go. You know, up until tonight, I didn't know what was like your deal. Because the last time I met this cool sort of elderly female figure that wasn't my mom or a high priestess, also one of those also betrayed me. It turned out that she's like actually been lying to me for really long, and she's way cooler than she claimed she was. And then went adventuring together, and it kind of ended up being really traumatic when she exploded in fire and died. And I really don't need that to happen again. So I'm just really cool. You're just an otter, and I think we should travel together.
And I I think Betty's face is like, it progressively gets more like as Mochi continues with that part of the conversation, and she's like, I'm so sorry. Exploded in fire? What?
We were saving the world from winter, and she had fire inside of her that she wasn't telling us either. There was so much she wasn't telling us. Wow. Anyway, I'm gonna deal with that later, right when I'm all grown up and shit. It turns out she was lying about it as well, and then we were fighting like the aspect of winter. It got really confusing up on the tree by the end. I was just trying to keep people alive with magic. It was so hard. Kept going down. Oh god, Clarence died so many times. Anyway, we had to like close a magical portal or something, or prevent something from being summoned. It was very confusing. And then she just exploded and died in the fire. We made her a statue. Well, no, we didn't make, like, her body a statue. They made a statue for her. She's not in the statue.
She just kind of sits in silence for a moment.
It was a really weird time, and I've been keeping a lot of it in.
Oh, okay.
I understand if you don't want to travel with me anymore.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Just seems like
another fish.
yeah, sweetie, you can have another fish.
It's like gnawing on a fish on the cat corner.
Yeah, I think Betty is just like, this is a lot more than I thought I was getting into. But like not dissuaded. Like, okay, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, we'll go.
Hey, yeah, we'll go. I'll show you the statue. It's really cool.
So, Betty, having made the decision to join Mochi, Mochi's pretty persuasive, as we found out.
Reaches over, does that like awkward arm pat thing. Like, it's gonna be okay, hon. Don't worry.
Sorrow.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, there's a little part of you that's like, I cannot let this poor little raccoon girl go out into the world. She is not ready.
Mochi has processed nothing of what happened.
Illusions of grandeur, mother issues on mother issues.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. This is traumatized for me, yo.
Like any good hot girl summer, you've made a friend for life. Over crying. Okay, so Betty, as you make the decision to join Mochi on just a little trek to the altar, just a little trek away from home for maybe the first time, you gather up your things, maybe a little bindle off your bill hook, and both of you determined to, once the time is right, to head to the Alder Heart. Let's cut over now to Argus. Oh, right when the music changes. Oh, I love that. Argus, where have the months taken you? I presume back to the bandit fortress, but anything along the way, and anything that would have been your primary focus during the months between, um, the end of the winter and being summoned by Lord Asher.
Mm. I think for Argus, for the few months that have transpired, it's a lot of rebranding, essentially. Going from the bandit imagery we've been dealing with for generations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how many generations at this point. Uh, so it's a lot of protecting and establishing trade routes around the Humblewood, offering reparations to the Druid Grove and the Druids, and any other victims that have been affected by our behavior or activities, and just reconstruction of destroyed properties due to the eternal winter, and even the flooding that's come from the healing of it. Um, so it's a lot less fighting, a lot more infighting as some factions of the of the Crest Mountains have
Mm-hmm.
decided that they don't want to follow the new ideals, the new path that Argus is
Yep.
trying to set. Um, More inclined with my father's old ways of thinking of what a bandit should be. Uh, they've been not banished because you can't really banish a vagabond, but they've left the mountain since, and um, so we are just trying to make sure that the Crest Mountains are as safe as possible, and that the Humblewood has more protection than it had. I think is uh, the the consensus.
Okay. So the months, fortunately for the bandit fortress being at the top of the mountains, flooding is not as much of an issue for all of you, but it's kind of the worry of, what happens when all the snow up here drains down, and it's going to be an issue later on. So I have to imagine public works are a focus. There's
Mm-hmm.
building a dam, even, looking out for Nine Pine Lookout, which is at the base, which is kind of another part of the bandit fortress. That
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like the forward um, bear or forward line
Yeah.
of the bandit territory. So yeah, public works are engaged. You're rebranding. You're sending bandits out into the world no longer as bandits, but perhaps even rebranding as mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of things. So you said that there's a couple of factions that left. I will note that the Dawnfall clan, which are primarily Gallus, they're like rooster, chicken kind of folk. They had already kind of been at odds with your family anyway. You had kind of like one of your main rivals was Lothar Dawnfall. They have left the camp,
Mm-hmm.
and have taken all of their people with them. There was almost it came to a conflict almost where they were trying to take more than what was considered their fair share of weapons on their way out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have to imagine that your diplomacy was the only thing that won out that day. Um, the Thornbacks, the hedge folk also have taken off into the Grassblade Sea, which is to the east of the Crest Mountains. You're not exactly sure where the Dawnfall have gone, but you do know that there are several places kind of leading out from the Bandit Fortress off to the east.
Mm-hmm.
There's Oakhaven, which is kind of more of a ragtag version of the Alderheart. It's more of the Moss Isley as opposed to the metropolis. It's more of a Gotham to the metropolis of Alderheart.
Mm-hmm.
There's Revel's Refuge. There's Far From. There's Riverhorn Keep. Again, lots of places where an unscrupulous person could find passage, or at least a new home, passage to another place, or even employment in piracy. And I think that's something else that you are coming to terms with is balancing the allies that your father had, balancing all of the criminal politics that the world has kind of now thrust upon your shoulders. So you begin to receive letters from all of these names that you might have heard in passing before. Um, some that you definitely would know. Some have that reputation, and through all of it, Jasmine is there by your side, and your brother Siegfried is there by your side as well. Siegfried has really taken to kind of the assistant role to you as king. He's handling a lot of the paperwork. He's trying to categorize and has a board placed up in your home in the Bandit Fortress with banners and sigils where they apply to some of these individuals and locations if he can determine them. Some of these people call themselves lords, some of them kings, some of them emperors. All of them are criminals of one type or another who see themselves as ruling this or that.
Mm.
So it comes to a point where you start having to again send out diplomats, almost ambassadors to these people, because some of the letters are congratulatory. Congratulations, King Argus, on rising to the throne. We had no love for your tyrannical father and hope that your rule will be a long and fruitful one. And then there are some that say, congratulations, King Argus. Your father owed me 5,000 gold. I expect you to pay me within the month, or unfortunate things may fall upon your people. Some even more threatening than that. I heard what happened with your father. You are no king. I pledge no love and no fealty to you. If you ever find yourself in my territory, it will be the last thing you ever do. Things along those lines. So you've got new enemies, you've got some new friends. How solid of friendships those are, not exactly sure.
Mm.
What's going to be one of your main focuses, like in delegating everything out with the team that you have?
Mm-hmm. Uh, Diplomatic definitely is a new thing for
Yeah.
Argus. Being diplomatic, talking with words instead of fists is a difference, because when before he would fight to survive, he would fight to solve problems, he would fight for conflict sake. But now he has to fight with purpose. He has to fight. He has to pick his battles. He can't just fight every battle.
Yeah.
Um, though several times during the beginnings, the early stages of getting those letters, getting those primary letters of fealty or no fealty or will kill you. Anytime I will kill you letter came through, he had to be talked down quite vehemently,
Mm-hmm.
to not go personally to answer those uh, uh, gentle words.
Yes.
He had to be
I,
talked down several times.
I think there's maybe even a logistics conversation with Jasmine where she's like, listen, it's going to take 4 years of travel alone to get to all of these people. They're not close to one another. You need to think about they're just they're empty threats. You're all the way up here. You're in a literal fortress. Don't pay them any money. They want to rile you up. That's what they're trying to do.
Oh, I'm riled. I'm
I
riled.
I can tell.
I'm one or
Listen,
two.
Siegfried
Can't
is
one
patching
one
the
or
last
two.
hole in the wall from the hammer. Just deep breaths.
To ignore threats is just as dangerous as answering them.
Yes. You
What
are
do
a
you
king.
suggest?
I suggest that if you were to answer them, you answer them with a calm hand as opposed to a hammer. These people are looking to see whether you can be easily riled, whether you are going to be quick to anger like your father was, and whether you are someone to fear or respect. You are someone who garners respect. You can garner fear so easily, but the second you do, you'll find so many knives in your back you can't even count them. garner respect, send people to speak with these disrespectful individuals, and show them the way you mean to rule is different than that of your fathers.
We are already stretched so thin with everything we're trying to do.
Yes.
I don't know who to send to do that by themselves, to go off on these adventures and have the fun of diplomacy. Would you happen to know anyone capable of delivering these messages?
Well,
You
it
know,
would have to be somebody you trusted quite a bit to
mm,
deliver the message in the way that you intended. You have to be somebody who is capable of themselves, somebody with a level of leadership
mm-hmm.
and regalness and beauty and
Right,
grace. And oh my
right.
gosh, I'm talking about me. Hi.
Yes, I had a feeling this is where this conversation was going.
I could. A vacation would be lovely. Thank you so much, August. I would love to go treat with the Pirate King.
Hey, your words and actions are beautiful, are graceful, are exactly what is needed.
Keep going. Yes.
Though I may be a hammer, I will admit you are much scarier than any hammer I've seen. So if
That's the
there's
nicest thing you've ever said to me.
so if you are up for it, if you are up for leaving these windy mountains to visit new, more tropical places, I would never stop you in the first place.
The Casparian Isles are not that far away. You have a number of letters from them that are less than pleasant, and I would love to see if those unpleasant words hold as strong in person. I won't be very long. The Song Sea does not stretch that far between us, and I'll take a few of the lesser lords with me. We'll be all right.
We'll take her hand. We'll like caress the bracelet that they are wearing. The band of what was it? The band of it's a band of essentially matrimony.
Yeah, is this the one that also allows you to kind of like tell where the other person is? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it, but yes, you will have a connection point to the other person at all times.
Yes. I
I'm
don't
going to be all
know.
right.
I don't know those other men. I don't know those other kings. I know you. If you are in danger, let me know. And I will come down from the heavens to bring hell upon those who do.
As much as I would love to see that, I'll do my best to not make it happen. You have busier things here.
Nothing, nothing, nothing means more in this world to me than you.
You know I feel the same.
So ask for help when you need it.
I will. The days go by, and Jasmine packs up her things for a voyage. She takes a couple of the Zephreach clan, who are raptor folk, and uh, travels out down the mountains. Gives you a peck before she leaves, and the days go by where there's always that little pang in your stomach of worry as to, you know, haven't heard from her, but of course you haven't heard from her. You know, she doesn't have magic, you don't have magic. You do get word. She sends a letter back from when she reaches, let's see, Riverhorn Keep, that she has boarded a ship called the Silver Crest, and she lets you know that the captain is an old friend of hers, and that they are bound for the Gasparian Isles, which is kind of like where all the pirates kind of congregate in the Song Sea. And then you're kind of you're tallying the days on your calendar. Siegfried as well kind of is like tapping his foot. She should have reported back in by this point. I'm sure she's fine.
Why would you say this out loud?
I
Sig, why would you say these things out loud into the open? You think I
Raise your
don't
hand
already?
right
I already know this.
I'm sure she's fine. I'm not trying to worry you any more than it's fine. I'm gonna go see if we've gotten any post. I'll be back.
Please.
And the days continue on until one day Siegfried kind of bursts through the door with a letter. It is sealed with a seal that you might you've seen at least once before because it is up on the board. It's a seal from one of the lords, one of the kings who have reached out to you. And he hands it over to you. I haven't broken the seal, but the messenger said it came from the Gasparian Isles and was for your eyes only. So he just sets it on the table. I'm going to go. I'll be right outside. Let me know if you need anything.
Doesn't say anything, just nods, he's looking at the letter. He like once the letter's like on the table, he doesn't stop looking at the letter until Sieg is gone. And then he'll open it.
It says to the usurper Argus Ironclaw. What a weak gesture to send a woman in your place. Had you the fortitude and foresight to come yourself, I would mount your own head on a pike. So see that you do, and in exchange, her life will be her own once again. Fail to do so, and hers will suffice in place of yours. I have heard word, perhaps even before you have, of your next adventure. Look out for the next letter at your next port. And it is signed Balthazar Blackbones, King of the Pirates. You're muted, bud. There you go.
No, I know. All Sieg hears is it's been a few months since this room has been destroyed, but it is an echo. It is the last time that room was destroyed. This is nothing compared to that. That room is being torn asunder.
We see from the outside Siegfried just nods to himself and walks down the steps from your fortress and approaches Lord Orvin Undernock, one of the Badger folk. I'm going to need, let's see, another cart of wood. I'm going to need a few more carpenters, definitely glass. I hear glass. We're going to need some new windows. Yes. Yes, that's the ripping of tapestry. Yes, we're going to need some more tapestries. Just a full room replacement. If you get those supplies, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay.
and still nothing from my bracelet, which is the worst part.
Yes. I will note to that point, um, the next day after that letter arrives, you do get a ping on your bracelet. I can't remember exactly how it works. I could pull it up, but this is
I had it too, which sucks.
it is a signal, whether it is a message or signal or whatnot. You can tell that Jasmine is alive, but feels that she is in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So when I find that here, we'll see if I can clarify any other information that would be provided to that. Which
I've got it. Hold on.
okay, huzzah.
It is it's a compass-like mechanism. Blah blah blah. The- I think we added the ping system, but it's
Yeah.
essentially it's this points to the direction that they are in.
Okay. It is showing that she is let's see, southeast of you,
Mm-hmm.
which is where you would predict her to be at the Gasparian Isles. I think what you find interesting about that is the letter arrived before her distress call,
Mm-hmm.
indicating that these plans had been in motion
Yeah.
already. That
Yes.
that yeah, he didn't link it up just quite right, but
Yeah.
hard to do with mail. You get it.
Yeah, hard to do with postage. You know, it's not
Yeah.
instant. It's not instant messenger.
He didn't pay for express.
No, of course he didn't. He's a pirate.
Um,
Yeah, that's ooh. All right. Yep. That's what's going on. I mean, I'm sure there will be legends and stories about that howl, about that evening.
Oh yeah, it echoes from the mountains. Like there's cryptids that are based off that noise in the Humblewood. The next day, Siegfried brings another letter to you as the room is like under construction. There's hammering of nails and everything. This one has the seal of the High Council of the Alderheart. Another letter for you, brother.
I
Something that might help.
recognize this one. This one is the one
Yeah.
I recognize more.
Yeah.
What was the previous seal? The previous seal was a what?
The previous seal was the seal of Balthazar Blackbones. What I'm going to say is that is a beaked. It's like a your traditional pirate skull and bones, skull and crossbones sort of
Mhm.
deal, the death's head, but it is a beaked bird instead of a human skull.
Gotcha. Okay, and then this one is the Alderheart sigil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he hasn't calmed down, but he's able to be gentle in this moment. As he takes it from his brother, from Sieg, and opens it, to see what it says.
This is a summons from Lord Asher. He does address you as king, and essentially tells you that he is requesting your presence back at the Alderheart at your earliest convenience for a new proposition. He also notes his it's a very political letter. It's very like bureaucratic. Very much appreciate your ongoing endeavors and public works. Thank you so much for your extension of goodwill and all of the good things. And also, we'd really appreciate if you could go on another little adventure. It's not a big deal. And kind of like, yeah, you get the gist of he's looking for you to yes, he's looking for you to do. Thank you, Liz. Something else for him in exchange. Like this isn't just a favor sort of deal,
Mhm.
but is requesting you at the Alderheart for more information.
Now remind me, you said that Balthasar basically said I know you were getting ready to do another adventure.
Yeah,
So he knew before he knew before
he's
this letter
he's.
came.
It seems like he's got some inside. He's got ears in a lot of places. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, if I find that person. Oh.
Yeah, don't like that at all. It's fine.
If that person's around, oh, they got coming. Oh, I'm gonna ask what's in that room immediately to use. I will point that out. To see.
Okay. So it sounds like you're I'll pack your things. Um, oh, this is okay. I need your armor. You need your hammer. You need food. Bedroll, rope. Um, anything? Knives. You need knives. Lots of knives. Probably shouldn't pack a chair. You wouldn't need that. Although you do throw chairs at people sometimes. Hmm. Probably a tent. You're not just going to teleport there, are you?
We still have access to that.
You do have more than enough of those coins.
I forgot about those coins.
Yes.
That's actually I didn't even think about that. That's
He's been gathering stuff. He just drops it. Fine, teleport, whatever.
I well, I'm going to be traveling anyway, so I'm going to need stuff. I don't need a chair. I promise I don't need that. I will probably just carry the same things I carried before.
Did you want a crown? Father never
I-
wore a crown, but you could wear a crown if you wanted everyone to call you king.
He'll just like look at the hammer that's on the wall, like that is my crown.
Fair enough. Well, good luck. If anyone can bring her home, it's you. And we'll hold things down here just fine. The other lords and I will do our best.
I know our talks with the druids has been on and off, but any news or updates about that before I leave?
Your friend Mochi's been somewhat helpful with the sendings she keeps bugging the druids with. They're basically being annoyed into doing deals with us, so that's been nice. I feel that our apologies are going a long way, and our acts of contrition are being appreciated for what they are. So we're not friends just yet, but they're not trying to kill us. And vice versa.
Call that a victory.
One for now.
Will go do you offer the barbarians like handshake?
Yeah, the
clasp
grip
of
the
arms?
wrists. Yeah, let's check to see if they have knives. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I will bring him in for a hug.
You better come back to me too.
Nothing will keep me from coming back up to this mountain.
And he pulls out of the hug, kind of just pats you on the shoulders. Long live the king.
Long live his brother.
Perfect timing. That's where we're going to go ahead and take our break. Look at you, Christian. Catch it like a professional or something. Okay. Let's go ahead and take 10 to 15. Thank you much for sticking around. Please enjoy our ad reel. It has lots of cool stuff on there. I will note one of our affiliates is unfortunately closing up shop very soon. Greenleaf Geek Dice has been a wonderful partner. We're sad to see Leah having to close up shop, but unfortunately sometimes life just throws that at us. That said, you can get some really cool stuff in bulk and at a discount. So there's some what are the things that go inside dice? The
Inclusions.
Inclusions, thank you. There's some really cool inclusions that Leah has like a ton of. So if you are a dice maker yourself looking to get some inclusions, I think there's cat ones and I think like duck ones maybe. I don't know. Go look them up. Lots of great stuff there, and you can also get some really cool stuff again at a discount. Please support Leah as the shop has to close up because that's tough to do. But she's been great, and hopefully this is not the end of Greenleaf Geek Dice. In the interim, if you yourself are a dice maker or a channel to affiliate with, send us a message. We're always happy to put out great content creators, especially those people who make wonderful dice, because it is an art form in and of itself. All that said, 10 to 15 minutes. Stick around. We'll be back. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Humblewood Yonderbound season premiere. of our second season of Humblewood, out of the unwanted winter into the unknown. Frozen reference here. Frozen 2, I think, is the way that song comes from. Anyway, we're just, I say enough about Disney that I don't need any more DMCA strikes. This is our first episode. We're kind of talking about what has gotten us to the point of our main plot hook, if you want to think of it that way. So far we have seen how Mochi's hot girl summer led to a fortuitous meeting with an otter folk who just happened by and created a bond of friendship and maybe even pity, a level of wanting to protect and be there. We've seen how Argus also has a need to protect and be there for someone who now is in a point of danger. Let's jump over to Clarence. Hi, Clarence.
Hello.
Hi. What have the months looked like for our little Lupu friend and his many journeys?
Yeah, I think at first, Clarence had to go back and check on their massive family. We're talking like 20 siblings, because they all live in like the lowlands and in burrows, and snow is melting now. So, I think Clarence said goodbye to Mochi, packed a little bag, and then hopped on the next wagon to take him back, probably to like Ashenborough.
Okay. Yeah, your wagon trip is a mucky one, but you get back to Ashenborough in a pretty decent amount of time, all things told. This southern point of the Scorched Grove, which, if there is one nice thing about the Scorched Grove, is that it constantly has like a little bit of cinder to it at all times anyway. That's like where the elemental plane of fire, where the fire elementals and spirits still kind of harbor. So permafrost was never a massive issue here. It never, like, the snows were always lower in Ashbarrow. But absolutely, there is just a little bit of flooding. There's the kind of flooding that would get up like around maybe the knees of your family. And as you come back into town, you can see like a couple of your siblings, a few cousins, just all out and about. And as the cart pulls up, one of the little ones starts waving. They've got this big scarf that's kind of like bundled up over, like, almost over their nose, and like, Clarence, hi! Look what I can do! And they splash down into the water like a dead man float and just start gurgling. And then they come back up. Wasn't that cool?
That was really cool, Barry. You should do it again.
Okay. And they, just like covered in mud, just like an entire side of them that's like just this white rabbit stained brown. It's like an Easter chocolate bunny that's been partially unwrapped, and just gurgling up in the bubbles. That time was my ABCs. Did you hear it?
I think you're getting there. You're getting there. You gotta like enunciate just a smidge more. Here, let me get that off your face. And Clarence like precipitations the mud off of Barry's face.
Yay! Again! Splashes back down. So you at that more of the Lupu around. It's like almost half the town is related to you in some way or another. Start coming out, and you would see your parents kind of like trying to get through the flood of Lupu, where there's white and brown and spots and a couple of calico ones, and they're all just waving like, "Hi, Clarence! Welcome back, Clarence. Boy, you've been gone for quite some time. How's the avium been? Oh, Clarence, did you skip school again? You've been out on the road again, haven't you? Oh, golly, just all of these voices from like aunts and uncles. Well, I told you, Clarence was not fit for that school. Attention span problems. One of my friends, ADHD. Yeah, 80 of them. I know.
I think Clarence, waves his like pleasantries and stuff like that. Just kind of like everyone's like gathered around, and then Clarence is like, okay, wait. I can't answer all of your questions at once, but tonight, bonfire, I tell you my adventures through song.
All the kids are like, yeah. A couple of adults are like, oh, all right, yeah. You had to have a theater kid. You had to have a theater kid. Yeah. All right. That night, a bonfire is set high enough to where it's out of the water, and the fire blazes. Kind of, you hear the water sizzling around it, and logs are brought out in all of these seats. Some of the kids are just like floating on whatever they can find that floats. Some of them made like little rafts of like pallets, and they're just kind of sitting on those. At the very back, one of them's reenacting that scene from Titanic. I'll never let go. And you kind of like standing on this little like floating pit that's like a cabinet that's just kind of like floating, drifting a little bit with your little Lupu feet. You tell your tale. You recount your adventures and how you have become a hero of the Humblewood.
And then Argus hit him with a chair. And then we traveled through some snow. I beat up a bandit. But they're not called bandits anymore. That's important. We're calling them mercenaries now.
Ah.
And Argus is the king of the mercenaries. Yeah. So I know a king.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we got an observatory, and then there was snow and wind, and then we realized the council was evil, and then Marley exploded in a great ball of fire and fixed winter.
One little Lupu raises his hand. First of all, I'm sorry that your phone exploded. Second of all, what's an observatory?
It's like a big tower thingy, but it's not used for living. It's used for like stargazing. You look at the sky. Yeah.
I can do that right here.
Yeah. It just gets you closer.
Seems unnecessary, that's all I'm saying.
You might have a point there. You should definitely explore that thought further.
Go ahead and give me a performance check for your and then story.
I would love to, dude. Okay. Performance. That was nat 20 with a total of 30.
God damn.
Also, I got this dice from Liz. Look at it.
That's really pretty.
Thank you, Liz.
So yeah, like you're weaving magic with your bardic ability as you're telling this tale. It's almost like again how the fire cast Mochi's sermons in this magical effect. It's almost like the fire and the magic that you are weaving with your words creates almost like this imagery, like the smoke. You can see the silhouette of Argus swinging a chair. You can see the great ice beast, and then the flame surges as you say that Marley, and there's tears in people's eyes when they hear about Marley. There's gasps when you hear about Argus, taking the throne from his father. You have an audience enraptured. There is a reason why you and Mochi are two sides of this same coin. And when it's all over and the fire's dying down and kind of like sizzling in the water, your parents come up to you. I don't have names for your parents. Would you like me to name them? Would you like to name them?
You can name them.
Fantastic.
You're
okay.
great with names.
Okay. I'm going to say. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. And Liz, give me a woman's name, please. Yeah, I'm calling you out.
Jolene.
Perfect.
This is the first one that came to my brain.
Perfect. Yeah.
So, Mortimer and Jolene.
Oh.
They come up and they kind of give you this big hug. Not the first one since you've gotten home. Hey, kiddo. Just wanted to tell you we're real proud of you. All right. You've done
Thanks.
some really great things, and it sounds like you've been lots of places. And I mean, even if half of that's true, that's a pretty incredible story.
I know. It's yeah, the world's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Well, yeah, Clarence, we tried showing you maps plenty of times. We're just a little dot in a big old marble of blues and greens.
Yeah, it's just a map is it's just paper until like you actually get there and meet the people and have experiences. It's not really real.
Well, now that your adventuring's over, you can come back home and help us around here, right?
Yeah, about that. I kind of think I like adventuring.
Well, sure, you like adventuring, but you love being here. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and there'll always be a part of me that's here, and y'all are here, but I think I gotta go further out into the big.
Mortimer, she's saying she wants to explore the marble. Let her explore the marble. I'm sorry. I need to get my ears cleaned. There's too much dust and whatever else in them. I wasn't properly listening. Clarence, you go explore. You go and you be what you've always been, which is a good kid. And you go be a good kid lots of places, and you show other people how to be good kids.
Yeah.
And you keep that song in your heart, kiddo. That's some nifty stuff.
Well, I wouldn't be half as good as I am if it wasn't for you two.
She's lying. I know. We love you all the same, kid. And they give you a big hug. The days go by, and I feel like that ache in your feet starts to come from being idle for too long, and before you can even say anything, your mom has brought you your pack fully packed with everything else in it. I put some cheeses in here. I put some of those jams you really like. There's some kindling for when you need to make a fire. There's this everything you do. There's a note from me. Actually, there's several notes from me, so you can open one per day and know how much I love you. And I need you to come back home at some point, okay? Just eventually. You don't have to stay here, but just if you ever want to send a note back or anything.
Oh,
be nice.
Well, the great thing is I have this friend, Mochi, the High Priestess of Hath, that knows sending. So we can always send.
Okay, all right. That's I'm glad you have friends, sweetheart, even if they are high sometimes. Okay, you take care of yourself. You be good. And I love you very much.
I love you too. Take care. I'll see you soon. And Clarence starts hopping like out of town, and waves at everybody. It's kind of like a little personal parade,
Yeah, it's definitely the beginning of Beauty and the Beast in reverse.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think Clarence takes a tiny little detour to this tiny little ever burning tree that's part of the Scorch Grove, and hops over there and just kind of says, "Hi, Marley. I figured you're kind of sort of here since the fire plane is kind of sort of here. But I'm going on adventures. It's gonna be great. I'll try not to explode into a great ball of fire, but that was kind of epic. I'm not gonna lie. But I do miss you. Don't worry, I won't let Mochi take over the world. Okay. Bye." And then continues on the journey.
Okay. Where would your journeys take you next?
So I think Clarence on the way, on the way home, Clarence was in like a carriage, probably had like other people to tell their stories and, bother them and ask if they want to join the adventuring party. But I think on the way back, it's like there's not a lot of people. It's like just Clarence,
Yeah.
alone in the world. So I think Clarence starts thinking about certain parts of their adventures and probably gets a little riled up at the avium because they're jerks. And then at one point, Clarence is going by the avium. Clarence is like, I wonder. So then Clarence heads to the avium.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, passing through the Humblewood itself, you find yourself at the High College of Magic in the Humblewood, the Avium, this massive petrified tree with these floating orbs around it that often connect to the branches, but as they rotate, not always. And these orbs contain these biomes, these different environments within them where you can see the surges of magic from time to time, these experimentations, and you would know within the petrified tree has been carved into this beautiful blue and gold interior, and you walk through the front doors quite easily. You are a former, if not current, student. I don't think your membership has ever fully been revoked, and find yourself in the great hall of the avium. Walking through, you can see that there are students, only a few students. This is summer at this point, so this is not a year-round school. You know, a lot of the faculty have probably went home at this point. Some of the students here might just be doing some summer class sort of things. So you see some that are dressed in their avium robes with their different colored banners or sashes that indicate the type of magic that they're learning. What would you like to do once you're here?
I think Clarence is gonna hail down like clearly a new student and hand them a little bundle. Okay, take this to Mochi's mom.
I'm sorry, who's Mochi?
Oh gosh, okay. What does Mochi's mom teach again?
She's the headmistress. Like, she is
Oh,
the
she's
archmage
oh,
of
right.
yeah.
Yeah. The
Archmage
headmistress.
Brightstream. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Archmage Brightstream. And tell her that Clarence is hello. And it's just like a little collection of like a couple little jams and like some bread, little note.
This is a little Gerbine, whose eyes are just like filled with fear. You want me to go to the archmage? Am I in trouble?
No, you're being a delivery. You're being right now.
I knew the hazing would come from signing up for that fraternity. All right, I'll do it. And they go like just their little like field mouse feet just bouncing up the steps. Then like you can just hear the reticence in their voice as they're kind of hopping up there.
The little breaths.
Yeah.
um
Oh, okay. You've got this. You've got this.
all right, good. That'll keep the Archmage busy. And Clarence is gonna beeline towards the library. That's entrance is always moving until you do the song and dance.
Yes. Yes.
Clarence does the song and dance. And then goes into the library. Are there still the librarians here?
There is weirdly enough, there is the same Vulpin librarian that you had met the first time that you had come through, and you can see he's just kind of like almost sleeping on his hand. And as you walk in, and the creak of the doors, he opens his eyes. Um, yes. Shit.
Hi.
Hi, Clarence.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I can I have access?
To what? Again? You said last time was the last time.
Did I?
This was just supposed to be a summer job. This wasn't even supposed to go this long. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
How fortunate you are.
Reaches into a pocket on the robes and just kind of like turns around in his little swivel chair and drops a set of keys. Oops.
Oh no, I wonder whose these are.
Yes, perhaps you should go turn them into the lost and found.
Will do. Clarence picks them up, hops over to the entrance.
Yeah,
Uh,
back far beyond the back stacks, there
mhm.
is like a vault door. And with the proper key incantations there, you find passage through into that inner library, the forbidden library, lit by this green flame brazier at the center of the room with these statues all about. Do you remember what you have to do?
You have to. It's something with the eyes, with the riddles,
The
maybe.
riddles is part of it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead and give me a history check, and
Oh no.
we'll see if Clarence remembers any better.
Oh no. History. Clarence was a student. That should be
Yeah,
easy, right?
yeah. Clarence was a student. You're right.
Okay. What about a 15?
I think a 15 is good enough that you remember the riddles, but also you remember that you could bypass the riddles. So you're staring at the brazier, and you remember that it's sitting on a turnable plinth. And as you're kind of like looking, you're like, was it shadows? Was it light, time, fire? It was bees. I'm pretty sure it was B, not the letter. You're looking at like at the flame, and you realize that it has these little these openings on the side of the brazier where the light seems to almost be like laser pointed. And as you're looking at it and you see that it's turnable, you rotate the brazier to where the 4 points link up with the statues, and that secret door to the inner sanctum, the treasury, the vault of the avium opens up. And once
uh,
again, you find yourself in a hall of black and white and gold, this petrified wood all around, and these objects of intense magical power, all placed around you. A few empty plinths, few empty places where you know that things have been taken, but you also have those accounted for.
yeah, we took one of them. Yeah.
Well, one of
Um
them was taken. Yeah, you know where it is, but again, there is the cloak of spines, the antlers. No, I'm sorry. Those are things you have to do. There's the egg of rebirth, the feather robe, the shroud of ending, the thorn of Kren, and the Necronomicon ex corvus. And at the head of all of them, sitting on a plinth with these glowing red gem eyes, is a corvid skull that you would know has a certain personality to it.
I do want to backtrack and say that Clarence did leave the library keys like tucked away outside the vault door so that the Volpin doesn't get in trouble. Still
Okay.
can keep their library job because Clarence kind of needs them to have their job. Um Clarence slowly walks through this hallway, feels the pull towards all of the magical elements, magical items. These would really come in handy. Yeah, yeah. And stops, looks at the Necronomicon just a little too long. Yeah, yeah. And then continues down towards the skull.
Couldn't stay away. Up for some conversation, some pithy retort.
I mean, you are pretty good at conversation. I'll give you that.
I'm good for few other things these days.
And I also wanted to say thank you for helping us the last time that we were here.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Um, why did you get locked down here?
lots of reasons, little friend. All of them very good reasons. I just had a certain point of view that wasn't appreciated by the Vox Populi.
Yeah, I understand that. The people of the Avium didn't really like my point of view on magic in general. They had
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of hard asses about magic.
Mm-hmm. Hard asses, that's a good way of saying it. Yes, close minded, ignorant fools, stuck in their ways, really. I myself was more open to new paths, new avenues, roads yet uncharted.
But you also hurt people too, right?
Haven't you?
I guess that's true. I guess we all
Everyone
had to do
hurts
what we
people.
had to do.
But sometimes you hurt people by accident. In the course of doing great things, sacrifices must be made. You know something about sacrifices, don't you, Clarence?
Hmm. Wait, if you're locked down here, how do you know all the things?
People are like books to me, Clarence, and I love to read.
Giving you books? Huh.
I'm just saying you're a fascinating fairy tale. I'm not getting everything, a few cliff notes here and there, but the overall story, the summary, is quite intriguing.
So you were kind of locked up here because you did some questionable bad things,
I
but
tried.
also because people just didn't agree with you.
People are scared, Clarence. People are scared of advancement and new things. It's when fire was first sent down to us from the Amaranthine, I'm sure that our ancient ancestors feared that element, but look what it has given us. It has given us heat and warmth and cooked food and comfort when used in moderation and used properly. When we first came upon the ancient trees of the Humblewood, the tenders shaped them. They changed their form. Before that, we were living in the dirt, exposed to the dangers of the wild beasts of the Humblewood, but we made safety for ourselves. We advanced. I just feel that my particular perspective was not appreciated in my time, so I sought to extend my time and see that I could find a place and point where I would be better appreciated. Unfortunately, plans did not go as I had intended, and I ended up like this.
So, well, how are you to know if the world's ready for your time if you're locked up in here?
That's an excellent question. I don't think I could. Not unless I could go out and see the world and truly give an honest, an honest judgment of whether the world was ready for me or not. And I would be honest about it. If the world was not ready, then perhaps it is not my time, and it would have to be made ready later. And I would have to return here, I suppose.
Are you going to be a skull forever?
Without anyone's help, yes.
And by somebody's
I
help, you
am
mean like taking over somebody's like body and
with the proper help, I could form my own body. That's what I was trying to do when I was stopped by less enterprising individuals.
but you have no way of getting a body right now, right?
Unfortunately, no.
Mm.
I am a being of history trapped here without friend.
So, if I was to say I might be willing to take you with me on some adventures, um, but also threaten you with I will crush your skull and take your gem eyes and throw them to the bottom of the sea if you betray me. Would that be threatening?
Go ahead and give me an intimidation roll.
Okay. That was a 12.
Oh, Clarence, that is truly terrifying. You, a hero of the Humblewood. I could do very little to stand against you, and I feel it would be in my best interest to assist you. I am not without power should I have a friend. I feel that you and I could be partners of a sort, a symbiotic relationship. I could grant you some of my power that I'm currently unable to use, and you could show me some of the world. And along the way, I am a knowledgeable individual, Clarence. I could be there to guide you and answer questions you might have. I have seen many, many things before I was locked up here.
Yeah, but um just to clarify, you saw many things how long ago?
What depends on what you mean by sight, Clarence. The last time that I had a body was, I believe, right around 250 years ago.
So like older than my parents.
I would say so.
So you might say it's a little dated.
But every time someone comes to see me, I can see through them.
Hmm.
And in that way, every time you open a book, you're opening a new world. I have opened so many worlds.
I do like books. They're quite good. All right, Scully.
Please, let us use names. Mine is Caliban.
Nice to meet you, Cal.
Caliban and Clarence, friends forever.
I don't know about forever, but I'm willing to help you because I don't know if it's necessarily the right thing that you're just locked down here all alone.
I agree with you. And doing the right thing is important.
All right, get in the
So
bag.
we have a deal then?
Well, you can't really shake on anything, so I'm not going to say that we have a deal, but I will take you around with me for a little while.
Good enough for this pact. And you lift the skull from its plinth. There's almost a slight resistance as you do. It's like there's an adhesive or like gravity doesn't want you to pick this skull up, but as you do, there's this of like this sickening green magic energy, and the eyes, these glinting red eyes, the light just like shines in them, just like an anime, just shing, goes right across, and the skull fits ever so nicely into your pack. And you've always heard the voice in your mind, like it's not like the beak is moving like a puppet, but for the first time it's coming from the same place where your own internal voice comes from. Oh, Clarence, I appreciate you so very much.
I think you're kind of cool too. All right, how do I use that teleportation thingy again?
Yes. And the skull will instruct you on the, I believe it's the teleportation that will get you to the mountains, like near Motu's
Yeah.
observatory. So the skull instructs you on the steps, and in moments you find yourself no longer in raging snow, but the snow that's atop a mountain. There's significantly less of it now. There's some rocky faces that you can kind of walk along. Um, where would you be heading next?
Well, we're in the mountains, so Clarence would probably head to Argus.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, you'll probably meet Argus as he is just about the same time that he would be heading out. So, um, I will say a summons reaches you whether you go to Mochi's observatory. There's one left for Mochi there and for Clarence. Um, Otherwise, you would get to Argus in time to also teleport with Argus. One way or another, the summons reaches you, and you were able to reach the Alder Heart. So at this point, our party is as far as the, I guess, a plus one has been summoned to the Alderheart. Mochi would have received a summons at the beach once Asher heard about her having a hot girl summer, and you all would have now we find you at the base of the statue to Marley. But before we get to that part, we have one last character to introduce. Queon, what I know what Soren was up to during the Unwanted Winter, unfortunately. Post thaw, what did that look like for our little scaly friend?
Well, you see, Soren has been doing the nice thing and just going around and helping everybody, making sure the plants are safe. Because everybody worries about the people and all of that, but nobody worries about the plants. The plants also had to deal with the winter. So, um, Soren has been going around just making sure everything is good, putting things back together. Um, he made a little stop down to um, Clarence's burrow, and while Clarence was there, they would see like there's like new structures to like make sure that the water kind of brushes out and doesn't flood the people's homes. Um, so and then he goes back and he's just doing his best. And while he's like around, he's got his like non-existent ears to the ground, trying to figure out where the strong people are because I need help. So, yeah.
Okay.
And for those who were not aware, Soren is a little gecko person. He's the sweetest little multicolored gecko in the world, and he has like a very awkwardly sized backpack for his very tiny frame. He's like all of maybe 3 foot, maybe 3'1" on a good day, and he has like a very big to him, small to everybody else, staff that has like little desert plants growing on top of it, and there's like a nice little crystal on top, and he's just a little gecko baby.
So Soren is not from around here. Soren is from a continent to the south. It's connected to the same continent that the Humblewood is part of. The world of Everden again is a wide place. There's seas all about, and islands and continents to the far east, and even a very desert-like continent to the southeast. Soren comes from a place where you would have to either cross by sea or cross some very treacherous mountain ranges, the Storm Crags, to find your way all the way to the Tangle Wilds, a place of jungle and intense magic and wild element. It's the Humblewood on Axl Rose Welcome to the Jungle steroids. Like there's still mighty beasts, but Whereas, you might have forest prowlers and mountain prowlers, and every now and then a great beast swoop down. The Humblewood still is rather a tame place, all things told. The Tango Wild is not tame, which is a bit of irony because there's a massive empire that also claims the Tango Wild as part of its imperial land, and that is the empire of the Alorans. And the Aloran Empire, because they use a different name for their empire, is called. Oh, it's sort of an L. Where was that? I'll look it up here in a second. But the Lorans are cat people. So one of the main predatory beings that you all might have ever faced before. There's of course there's bird folk like raptors and even the owl folk like Argus who are predatory. But when it comes to mammalian predatory animals, you're not really used to those. Most of them are omnivorous at the very most. So the Tango Wilds are a place, again, just green everywhere. The trees aren't necessarily as wide, and they're not really lived in. Another thing that Soren might not be necessarily used to is the fact that the trees are lived literally inside of here. The Alorans actually use stone to build their empires, and even the tree wardens, like the people that Soren is from, typically live among the trees. They build rooftop canopy civilizations, and you kind of think of like Ewoks, where they have all of the rope bridges and wooden constructs outside of the trees, because they're still like redwood sized, but they're not Alderheart sized, where it's the size of a literal city that you can live inside of. So, Soren, with all that, you're keeping an ear to the ground, a non-ear to the ground, to hear for anybody who might be somebody of import. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, great. I'm so good at those. A
It is
19.
the Luzos Empire. I'm so sorry. Sorry, what was your roll, bud? 16?
19.
19. I'm sorry. Your mic's a little quiet.
Hold on. Let me fix
You're good.
that.
Okay. With the 19, you absolutely kind of pick up on some of the hubbub, the gossip, the scuttlebutt. You've thought out, and you are a person of interest. There's not a lot of little lizard people walking around. There's not a lot of Tilia around the Humblewood. So you're kind of this far traveler where every time you walk into a tavern or walk into a small town, like the hospitality of humble folk is it's almost overwhelming, especially from where you come from, because Allurans can be somewhat dismissive or even just aloof. And even where your people are from, like there's a tight community, but it's dangerous in the jungle, and so just kind of like walking about and being openly welcomed and not met with just a little bit of scrutiny is maybe not something you're super used to. But you find yourself going from out of the snow and mud, thawing out, finding yourself in a town immediately just bundled up with like a scarf and gifts and food, and sitting down in front of a fire, and you kind of hear about the past 5 years from when you came to this place and all the things that have transpired since. And what you hear about is I say the winter wasn't even an amaranthine thing. I say it wasn't even a natural thing. It apparently was some magic nonsense. His council members trying to get rid of some of us,
Wait a
But
minute.
anyway,
Wait a minute. Hold on. So you're telling me that I got stuck in snow, frozen solid, because of some magic nonsense?
that's what I'm saying. Here I am. I don't have time for that. You apparently didn't have time for that. Although I mean, you look good for being frozen for a little bit.
Thank you. It does great things for the skin, apparently.
Hmm.
It's you. Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
So I don't know, where you come from or whatever else, but
Take a while,
we
just
got
a
this
little bit
council.
fresh.
That's nice.
Mm.
We had this council and apparently a few of them jerks. Nice thing is, some folks, some humble folk, they solved this problem. So what I hear is we have some new heroes of the Humblewood.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. There's
heroes?
yeah, there was some sort of squirrel that exploded. There's Matcha.
Wait, hold on. Okay, you're telling me that think squirrels explode here?
Not
Maybe
often.
This isn't what I want.
Yeah. But no, there's a Mapak, I think Matcha. She's got some cult thing, so I hear. I don't know.
Okay.
One of them's a king now, but he's like a bandit
Oh.
king, but they're not bandits anymore. We don't use that word.
That's a bad word. Okay, I'll remember that.
The mercenaries.
That's the word. Okay.
I think it was Argo,
Argo.
directed by
Okay,
Ben Affleck.
okay.
Argo. Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, so we have Matcha, we have Argo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
Clearance.
Clearance. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And the exploding squirrel. Apparently she had a name that wasn't a real name, so I'm just calling it exploding squirrel.
I don't think that it would be good if I meet them and call that one the exploding squirrel. So
Oh
what's the
no, you
fake name?
won't. You're not gonna meet her. Not gonna meet her. Yeah,
I will hope not.
yeah. No, me too. And then there was there's a dirty fella like yourself.
Hey,
I mean,
I'm clean. Thank
I'm
you
sorry,
very much.
Druid. I'm sorry. You tracked in a lot of mud. It's a Druid thing around here. Okay.
It's not mud. It's sand, and I'm sorry. And he kind of like
the hell
gathers
did you
all the
find
sand back
sand?
up to him. Don't worry about it. It comes with me, and it goes back into like his little bottle.
All right. There's a mushroom fella. You did Volo, something like that. I don't know.
Volo. I know a Volo.
Okay.
Not from around here though.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he covered in mushrooms?
No, covered in vines.
Oh.
He's a tree.
Maybe they're cousins.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it's been nice. You said
What's
you
your
were
name?
looking for my name?
Yeah.
My name's Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry.
Okay. This is
You always
Meadowfen.
like this?
Yeah.
A little
Why?
short to the
What?
point.
I mean, I'm like 4'3". Is that short?
No, you're very tall for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a hedge, so I'm pointy.
Oh,
I guess
that's
I
what
am
that is.
short and to the point. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never met a hedge before. You seem
Yeah,
nice though.
Yeah, no, I mean you're a weird looking gerbine. I've never
I
seen a
am
hairless
a
one.
Tilia. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Of the descent scale variety.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is the bustling borough of Meadowfen. I don't think you're gonna find any adventurers here, but you know, you go to the Alderheart, that's a big city. You know, you don't want to get stepped on, so I'd be worried about that. But there's lots of druids like you there. There's the tenders, and yeah, I mean, there's what remains of the council. They seem to be doing a good job. They don't seem to be trying to kill us right now. There's plenty of shops. I'm sure you could hire some of those mercenaries. Or you might even run into some adventurers while you're there. I don't know, but that's my best recommendation to you.
Okay, and you said this place is the what again? And he
The
pulls out like, a-
Alderheart. It's
the Alderheart.
He's gonna like look out the window. That massive ass tree out there, the one that's like above all the other ones. It's like, hey, that can't be that big, right?
Uh-huh.
It's that big. It's bigger. Yeah. No, you can't miss it. Keep going east. Yeah, walk along the road. Well, maybe don't walk along the road. It's muddy as hell. But you know, well, we get you set up with a carriage or something. You got gold?
Um, maybe.
Maybe it's better than no.
How do you? Why do you ask?
Oh, you gotta pay if you're gonna go along the if you're gonna get a cart.
Oh,
Unless you want to ride with one of the transport carts. I mean, it's a little.
how far is it?
I mean, if you're walking, maybe about a week.
A
If you're riding along, a little bit shorter.
A long time.
It's a big
Okay.
forest.
I guess I'll have to take a cart.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought this this beast of burden here, and he's gonna.
Oh, you're taking me?
Well, I can. You said you
Oh,
want to
yeah,
go somewhere.
come on,
I
I
got a
like you.
transport card. You said you maybe have gold.
I might.
I like this. I like what we're doing here.
I like you too, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg's coming back. Greg's the NPC. God damn it, I did it again. Okay. So yeah, the days go by and the cart is set up. He introduces you to a this large kind of like oxen looking creature. This thing is literally huge, and they're kind of beasts of burden. Here's Buttercup. Bought her from a
Hi,
nearby town.
Buttercup.
She knows the way just fine.
Can Buttercup and I just go?
I mean, he points at the cart, which has a bunch of stuff in the back. I've got to bring stuff to there.
Oh, I
You
thought
want to
you were
buy
giving me
Buttercup?
Buttercup. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna ride up here, and I like hop onto Buttercup's head.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So, yeah, you hop up again, huge animal, so you this like shaggy kind of golden orange fur, these big horns.
Mhm.
And yeah, you hop right up there. You're just like a little guy,
Just a
up there.
little guy.
And with pull the reins, the Buttercup takes off, and your journey takes a few days, kind of moving along the road, camping at night. You'll meet some other people along the road as well who might stop by your camp and chat with you, and they'll add to the story that Greg's given you, clarify a few details as well.
Also,
Apparently,
it's not
yeah,
matcha. It's mochi. Okay.
it's mochi. It's not
Okay.
matcha.
I like
um,
matcha though.
Yes, it's a wonderful drink. It's actually Mochi is a high priestess now, so I hear. Has a piece for Hath. I haven't converted, but Jesus Christ. Yes,
Who's Hath?
there was Clarence, who actually I think my brother met Clarence once. A lot of people meet Clarence. You'll know Clarence when you hear him. And then yes, poor Marley.
Marley.
Yes,
Is that the exploded squirrel girl?
Yes, that's really insensitive to say that, though.
I
don't.
what? But
I know
what
that's
you
not
told
on you.
me!
I know that's not on you. I heard Greg. I know that's not on you.
Okay. Okay, so it is. Okay.
So, what I will say is, if you are looking for help, I would go to the High Council. Finding adventurers is one thing, but the council, especially Lord Asher Starfellow, is one of the true heroes as well. He will deny it to his dying day, but he is the one who set these people along their path and stood with them to the end, even when hard decisions had to be made. If you are seeking anyone and cannot find the heroes themselves, go to Lord Asher.
Okay. He just like nods at every word that he says. Like, okay.
And then I'm so sorry. I've one last thing. Just, do you have fur? Is it very fine? Can I pet you?
No.
No to which?
Both.
All. Okay. All right.
I have, these are scales. Have you never seen a tilia before?
Like a fish?
not a fish.
Okay. Okay.
So scales are kind of like fur, but
Uh-huh.
they're very smooth. And because of that, we don't really have our own warmth, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Can I
Okay.
pet you?
Oh yes, please. It's very
Oh.
nice.
Wasn't expecting you to say yes, but he's gonna do it. Like,
Yeah, it's a Mopak that you're talking to, and it's very soft. I mean, even
very-
with like from scales. Yes, with the grain. It's very nice.
I guess it won't be bad. You can pet the tail.
Yes. They're very gentle. As somebody who had a leopard gecko, you want to be very careful with the tail because if they get scared, the tail detaches and it just doesn't grow back right.
This is contrary to popular belief, this is Soren's like seventh tail.
Okay. Better than most leopard geckos. Leopard geckos apparently can only regrow them once.
Yeah, he's not he's a very unlucky lucky gecko.
Okay. So you continue towards the Humblewood with Greg, or towards the Alderheart, and a few more days, and you've arrived. And it's almost like an optical illusion as you're approaching this, where the tree is so massive that by the time you reach it, you're like, it can't be that big. It can't be that big. And then it's like literally you can't see around it with how wide it is. You look left, there's tree. You look right, there's tree, and this opening is laid before you where it's very mucky. You kind of get that smell of mud. All of these carts, all these tracks are carved into it, and you see that there are some armored individuals who are kind of escorting people in, checking a couple of the carts as they come in, and one individual comes over to you. um, it is a raptor folk. Yes, what is your business here at the Alderheart?
Uh, um, I'm
You, small fellow.
I'm sorry.
What do you? Yes, you.
Oh,
Yes, you atop the thing, the
excuse me.
smelly thing.
Hey, you be nice to Buttercup. She's not bad. Anyway, um, my name is Soren. I'm coming to talk to, um, Greg. What's his name?
Asher.
Lord Asher in the Alderheart.
The perch guard looks at you. They have this halberd that they're kind of like leaning on a little bit in the mud. They've got mud all the way up their greaves, and they're just like generally a miserable kind of composure to them. Yes, I'm sure that High Council member Lord Asher Starfellow is eager to add a whatever you are to his calendar.
Attilia.
One more time.
Attilia.
Attilia.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, I thought you said your name was Soren. Is that
My-
your last name?
Soren Dryspell is my full name.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Well, you are welcome to go up to the High Council chambers. It is in the upper branches.
Okay, thank you.
Best of luck. I'm sure that yes.
Do you
Anyway.
guys like being covered in mud?
No. No, I do not.
Huh.
Better than the snow, but a moderate improvement at best.
Okay. So Soren is gonna hop off of Buttercup and kind of just like move his fingers, and he's going to cast Mold Earth and pull all of the mud off of them and solidify the ground.
The raptor folks' eyes just kind of blink a little bit. Oh. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the least I could do. He told me where I gotta go, and I crawl back up on to Buttercup.
Huh.
Let's go, Greg.
Yeah. Snaps the reins. Buttercup is parked in this lower area, Having never been to the Alder Heart, this might be kind of an intimidating sort of thing for Soren. Looking all around, you can see that there are lifts that are going up and down, even further down than where you are, seemingly into the root system. Looking up, you can see that there are stairways, there are lifts that lead upwards further into the tree itself, and kind of like almost floors. Like you can look up and see the stairs keep going where part of the tree is kind of solidified out, so that there seems to be levels to this place.
Okay. Um, as we get into this and I start like climbing my way up, um, the Alder Heart is alive, right?
It is. It is a living tree.
Can I can I cast Speak with Plants?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can.
As Sword is kind of like going up, it's gonna go off to like a side of the Alder Heart and just cast Speak with Plants and say, um, hi, my name is Soren. Thank you for doing all of this work. You're very beautiful, and I appreciate everything you've done.
This the way I'm going to interpret speak with plants is the plants don't speak the same language as you, right? But you interpret it in the same way that you would if something was verbalizing something to you. And the way you interpret this voice is booming and echoing this. It's like speaking to a giant, right? It's almost, you're almost unable to hear what it's saying with these echoes, this ancient echo of all of these voices kind of combining into to one, all of these rings that this tree has lived, as it calls down to you. So welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Um, I have a question for you. Um, I know I have to talk to this Lord Asher fellow. Um, do they have any like thing that they like? Do you like do you think that if I mention something they'll be nice to me? Because the guards kind of made it sound like they're a little bit mean and I don't want to deal with that today. I've done it with that a lot already.
It takes a moment, and then you hear three words: honesty, justice, determination.
Okay. Um, and just like as a padding to the Alder Heart, just gonna say, thank you. I don't know if any people really talk to you much because people kind of just live here. But if you ever want to talk again, drop an acorn on me, maybe.
You, just as you're saying that, you see somebody walking by with like an acorn. It's another owl folk with an acorn that's like almost as big as they are.
Not that size though. Not that size. Small.
Fair enough.
And then Soren's gonna start walking back up.
Okay.
And because Speak with Plants lasts for a while, I'm just having like a full blown at Alder Heart as I'm going up.
Yeah, I think with that, you're also noticing that there are almost like background chatter as you're talking to the altar heart, like it is having other conversations.
Oh.
And as you're kind of looking around as you're walking through, you can see that there are figures you might recognize by the druidic symbols that they wear on their persons, or by the maybe the staffs they carry, the magic that they weave. And you note that there are beings that have been identified to you as the tenders, who seem to be kind of milling about and doing a variety of things. Some of them, as you walk by, are tending to a mushroom cavern. that has actually been carved out of the tree, where all of these mushrooms, for a variety of purposes, even for food purposes, are being cultivated. You see some that seem to be reshaping part of the tree, literally just conversing with it to convince the tree to make space in addition to a room that they might need, and reshape the wood itself. And you would watch as the tree, almost like fast forwarding in growth, would reshape itself into a new room, as these tenders kind of press their hands and seem to be conversing with it and thanking it for its diligence in doing so.
Oh,
And you continue upwards in
that
this
makes Soren a little
bustling.
sad.
What's that?
That makes Soren a little sad
What's that?
because it feels like they're only asking for things. Like,
Mm,
yes, they're
yeah.
giving thanks, but it's like it's kind of pushing past what the tree would normally do, and it hurts him a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They tend as well.
Okay.
It is the least I can do to give so many so much.
You do a lot.
Not to overly giving tree this, we're not gonna try
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah,
it,
yeah,
but
yeah. I'm
yeah.
just. It was just a moment.
Yeah. You continue on through the Humblewood, this again bustling metropolis, where there's all these people milling about, and you might not realize the difference, but when we first described the Alderheart, which I keep saying Humblewood instead of Alderheart, when I first described the Alderheart, a lot of the windows had been like closed up to seal in heat and keep the winter out. Those windows are now opened, and all of this natural light beams through. And you would note that even some of the lanterns here, some have magical, like lightning bug insects trapped inside for periods of time that illuminate darker spaces. But there's also like almost a mirror system or a magical system of conveying the natural light throughout the Alder Heart, so that no matter where you are, it is a well lit space that feels like you have natural light there. And you can see that people are, they're going about their daily lives. There's a marketplace that you pass through with a few statues, one currently under wraps that hasn't been revealed yet, and a fountain, and again steps that are made out of the wood of the tree itself, homes that are made out of the wood, burrows where humble folk seem to reside all about, on the inside of the tree. It's only the wealthy that can afford an actual like window home. You make your way even further up from there, up to where you can see stained glass windows far away that depict beings you might not be overly familiar with, but it seems to be some sort of deific representation. You can smell steam and maybe even what you might identify as like oily kind of smells coming from a corner where there seems to be some sort of like, has like that irony kind of smell in the air. There's something mechanical going on.
Huh.
Further up, you would find the doors to the High Council of the Alderheart, and there are a number of perch guard who are standing with their halberds kind of at their sides and shields at their sides, wearing a little bit finer armor. These are like decorative kind of individuals who are standing like, facing straight forward and not looking at you, I should say. What would you like to do?
Oh, okay. Um, eh, Talking towards one of the guards. Is this the way to Lord Asher?
They don't look at you or acknowledge you.
Oh, okay then. I can just keep walking.
The halberds cross in front of you.
Hey, why? What? Why?
One of them looks down. Do you have permission to enter?
Yes, the Alderheart gave me permission.
Sure it did.
Excuse me. And I pound my staff a little bit, and the magic comes off of it. Can you tell them, please?
Yes. Give me a persuasion roll.
Ah, Scheitzakoff.
This is going to be
Sure.
successful. I want to see how successful.
Okay, let's roll it. As somebody who has a +0 for persuasion, I got an 18.
18. Um, you're inside, so you're not sure how this works, but a sizable acorn drops on the guard who had been addressing you, congs on this metal helmet, and he just kind of crumples to the floor, clearly concussed. And the other guard, now with like the halberd just extended out, pulls the
I told
halberd
you.
back. You can go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
Just like
is he gonna
looking
be
up, taking
okay?
a couple steps. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just please don't drop an acorn on me. Please go.
Okay. Um, and I'm gonna just for the shiggles of it, drop a cure wounds on the one who is hurt.
He kind of comes back to consciousness. Just
You okay?
what happened?
The Alder Heart dropped an acorn on you. I told you to let me through.
Okay. Who are you?
Soren Dryspell, nice to meet you.
Okay.
And I walk through.
And there's these ornate double doors that have like kind of the natural like vine system and like wood like they've convinced the Alderheart to create this very ornate display on these doors for the Alderheart Council.
Pretty. I'm gonna assume that this is where I have to go. And I'm not even waiting for anybody at this point. I'm pushing them open myself.
You push them open and see a U-shaped table with you kind of at the opening of it. And all about are 7 individuals. Actually, I will note there are 6 individuals. One of the seats is not yet filled. But you would see at the head of it is a strig, which again is what Argus is, an owl person, which looks rather aged. You can see that there is a badger folk individual wearing kind of these blue and red. There is a hedge who is wearing the tender's clothing, and that's 4. Who am I missing? There is a Gallus, who is kind of dressed in this kind of darker clothing with like this high collar to it. And then there is also a. Who am I missing? They're dead. They're dead.
In our defense, they deserved it.
Yes,
I was
they
gonna
do.
say,
Just-
whoopsie.
Just, you know,
They're dead.
They had it
they're
coming.
Dead is wild.
they had it coming, is all I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely.
If
Chicago.
you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it.
You'd have done the same.
And I will say that there is a Mapak who is sitting there, in kind of like not the finery that everybody else is wearing. They have goggles on top of their head and this big smile, and their hands are kind of just like pressed together like this, and they're just like nodding and listening. They're wearing like overalls, and their hands just seem like a little grubby. Like their fur seems like has just like a little too much oil to it. Like there's almost this unintentional faux hawk going on. And as you enter, they all kind of stop and look at you and the strig at the head of the council. Can we help you, young
Um,
man?
Am I interrupting something?
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry. I was looking for Lord Asher, and the guards let me in.
The strig looks over to the badger, who kind of looks back and forth, and then he looks out to the guards who are like collecting themselves. My deepest apologies, Lord Bertram.
I can wait.
will. Something tells me that's not in our best interest. Gonna go with the gut feeling here.
Okay.
Lord Bertram, I suggest a recess while I speak to our new friend here. And if I could suggest perhaps Lady Quillock join us as well, judging by the attire of our interloper. Sorry, that's a harsh word.
What does that mean?
Um, uninvited person?
Yeah, okay. Well, no, I was invited though.
Okay. The Bertram Mooncaller, the Strig Council speaker, lays hammers a gavel. Recess for 15. And he goes shambling off. A couple of the other ones go walking off as well. But the hedge, the head of the tenders, as well as Lord Asher, walk up to you. Tangle Wilds, yes?
Yes.
I had received word about a visitor from the Tangle Wilds some years back that never arrived. It was
He lets
you,
out the
wasn't it?
deepest sigh. That was me. I did not know that there was a permafrost, if you will,
Yes.
and I
We
may or
had
may
not
not
packed for
have
them.
been stuck out there for a while.
Yes. Well, better late than never, it seems.
I hope I still am. I hope everything's okay.
Yes and no. I introduce Lady Alice Quillock, head of the tenders, Sybil of the tenders,
Oh my.
a
He
fellow
he puts down his
practitioner.
staff and like goes to shake her hand. Like, I've heard so much about you. I'm so happy to meet you. That Alderheart talks about you a lot.
That's nice. What are what are you doing here?
Um
I hope that's not rude.
well, excuse me. Um
It's
um
been cold, I understand.
mhm, mhm, yeah, and I don't think you were stuck out there for about 5 years, but it's okay. So, um, my whew, it's a lot. So my family's kind of in trouble. Well, my entire village is in trouble because there's kind of like a entire elemental plague going on, and we can't really handle it. So I was kind of looking for adventurers, and I was told to find this person named Argo and this person named Matcha. No, Mochi. Mochi, right? Okay. And Clarence Volo. They said Marley's gone, so not Marley anymore. Um, but
You see Asher's
yeah,
face just drop at that. Yes. Um, I'm sorry. Please stop.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's not, but it's fine.
He tucks his tail a little bit and just like picks his staff back up. I didn't mean to upset you guys. I just was.
It was. I realized it was not intentional. He turns to Alice. Is this what you have been sensing? Do you think? I do indeed, and it seems as if one of our potential problems could be another's solution. Trash and treasure, and all that. Mr. Soren,
Mhm. Dry spell, but
I
yes.
might have a solution to not only your problem, but a problem of ours.
Okay.
How do you feel about acting as a guide of sorts?
Guide where?
Back to your home.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Am I guiding you and you?
No, unfortunately, the two of us must stay here to attend to our duties, but I have I have some friends that I think you are going to get along splendidly with.
I like making friends.
So do they. That is where we are going to cut to the present as Lord Asher Starfellow presents the statue of Marley to you. And as he does, he will set down it's not a bag necessarily. It's something that's wrapped up and meant to be carried, but it doesn't have like an opening to it. And even as you look at it, you can see that there is frost forming on the outside of this bag. I appreciate all of you for joining me, even if there are at least one new face. He looks to Betty. In Marley's memory, it would be remiss of me to say that our problem was solved. As long as Borealis stays in the Humblewood, we are at risk. As such, I believe that we can assist another people, and in so doing, perhaps be a little selfish about it. Solve one problem. Well, I shouldn't say that around here. 2 problems with 1 solution. Nothing about stones or birds. So I would love to introduce all of you to Soren Dryspell. And like from around the statue, you see a small little gecko man.
Hi.
I'm asking you all to do something terribly dangerous once again. I am asking you all to leave your home behind, to travel farther than you have ever traveled before. I am asking you to go to the Tangle Wilds, take the Borealis with you, return it to a place that it can no longer endanger us or anyone else, and in so doing restore balance to another place that has lost it.
I think this whole time Betty is like looking back and forth between Mochi and Asher as he keeps talking. Like, is this what is me?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, Mochi just leans over to you and goes, I told you we're going on an adventure.
It's a little bit more than an adventure. This is a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot.
That'll be great. Don't worry about it.
I'm definitely gonna worry about it.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. If you want to talk about how worried you are, let me know. But it's gonna be great.
I think that's where we're going to end things. So I will leave you all to worry for a week.
Oh God.
A whole week.
A whole week. When we come back, we will see how you all decide to traverse to a whole other continent, and I get time to come up with names of boats because that's all I do these days between the games that I run is come up with names for boats. Yeah, feel free to if you want to name a boat, I'll make an incentive for that. We're not going to be as around boats, but I'll make an incentive for naming a boat. It's probably like $50 or something.
Buttercup and call it a callback.
Yeah. See, I will not Bodie McBoatface. I cannot. So I do have ultimate veto power. Take this seriously. No. Thank you all for joining us for the premiere of Humblewood Yonderbound, the 2nd season of Humblewood here on Sword and Key. I have been joined once again by these very lovely individuals who I just can't spend enough time with. They're all incredible people, and I would love for you to support them and watch them in other places and all that kind of cool stuff. So let's go ahead and go around and any plugs that you have, anywhere else that you might be, and then we'll do some Sword and Key stuff, and then y'all get to have the rest of your day to yourselves. So Shadow, you don't mind starting us out? Where can we find more of your lovely self?
Yes, you can find me everywhere relevant at Shadow Sylvia. You can find me here on Sword and Key every Sunday, and mostly every Tuesday for Gay Night, while I join Derek and our lovely third of the thruple LD. We play Baldur's Gate, and it's been a great time. Nothing has gone wrong ever in that game. Otherwise, I am an admin over at Roll D5, so you can find me there. We play indie TTRPGs. I am actually going to be joining a few of the residential Sword and Key folk on the 25th. I know our schedule. Yep, on the 25th for Fortune Favors, which one of our team members wrote the system. We're going to play through that together. It's going to be a great time. I think that's everything. Take it away, next person.
Next up, Liz.
I think that's me.
I don't know the order.
That was really good, yeah.
Hi, friends. I'm Liz. I have been Betty, who is not Marley or Harlow, however you wanted to remember her. I didn't get into Betty in the beginning, but Betty's a barbarian. So please, for the love of God, bear with me because I've never played a barbarian before. You can find me at the places at the link down below. This is the only place where I'm playing games right now. So you can find me here on Sundays and hopefully maybe for other things in the future. Who knows? We'll find out together.
Wonderful. I also want to say Betty in the beginning, but Betty's a barbarian is a great alliteration. That really made my brain happy.
I have to admit though, Betty Brightpaw and your other Bone, whatever his name was, I was like, there's no connection here. The alliteration's real strong, but like we're not on the same wavelength here. He sounds like a bad guy, and I don't like him.
Yeah, no, it's just that was just a Balthazar is a cool pirate name. And Blackbun's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no relation. No relation. He's a bird.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Liz. Next up, Queon.
Hello. Thank y'all for having me. I am so happy to be back on Sword and Key and to be able to join this table. My name is Queon. I go by Brother Queon across all of the internets. What do I have going on? I'm a TTRPG mercenary for hire, so if you have games coming up that you want me to be at, I will be there. But with that being said, I have the finale of Class Delta. If you like HBCUs and a little bit of magic and a little bit of I think we're ending things off on like political intrigue and like maybe a massacre within the Feywild. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But that's gonna be happening tomorrow over on Coco Mac Productions, here on Twitch. Outside of that, I am very excited to say that I have a casting call out right now for what do we decide on calling it? World Replica. It is going to be with the Baddie Bards, and we will be using the Die RPG system. I'm very excited to actually be running a game out here in the public. So if you are Black, gay, queer, all of that lovely stuff, please apply. And I just would love to see you people at my table, and I'm very excited about that. And last but not least, coming in October, I will be launching my own clothing brand, Tales and Story, and that is where you will find all of your phenomenal TTRPG gaming, anything you could think of. Most likely, I've got it over there for hoodies, shirts, graphic tees. I love a good hat. I'm not wearing one today, but there's all types of hats and everything that I've got on display as well. But yeah, that will be coming out October 1st, and I'm very excited and also very fucking nervous. But yeah, this goes to Derek. Y'all got it.
So we're all gonna need a link when that happens. Like I'm already excited, but yeah, we're gonna need a link.
I can make that happen. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Next up, Anniek.
Hi, my name is Anniek. I was Mochi Bright Stream today, and currently, Sword and Key is the only place I'm playing games. Currently, of course, in Humblewood, and then after Humblewood, Derek gets to take a break again, and I will be running Tales from the Loop, which is weird, alternate 80s Swedish sci-fi horror bullshit. It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited. And because I love a good meat grinder, there will also be more Mothership. Planning is absolutely miserable, so keep an eye out on the Sword and Keys socials for when casting calls for those go out. And then, yeah, just stuff that isn't announced yet. So please hold, I guess.
Please hold indeed. Last but absolutely not least, Christian.
Hey everybody, hi, my name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, all over the internets. I'm a TTRPG performer, educator, and event coordinator here in the space. You can catch me all over the place. I've been in so many games. It's all on my link tree. Please check it out. I can't. I'm so happy to be back here. This is great. I can't wait to see what chaos. There's already chaos already happening. It is. Dave couldn't leave the skull alone, huh? He's couldn't leave the skull alone. Had to go talking to necromantic skulls. It's fine. It's all good. Can't wait to see where that goes. Don't touch my wife. I'm gonna kill him. He's dead. That's a promise. I'm gonna tie him to an anchor and drop him in the ocean. That's a promise. Right here, right now. He's fucking dead.
We love a man who stands as woman. Absolutely.
Oh man, tie me to an anchor. All right. Thank you again to these wonderful people. They're absolutely incredible. Please check them out in all those wonderful places. Support them in any way that you can. If they have, uh, what is it, Ko-Fis, coffees, whatever, send them one of those. If they've got pallies, give them one of those. They all do incredible work in other places. The least you can do is to go watch them in other places, or just subscribe on social media. Um, for me, I have social media. It's dsword16, but I highly think you should check out Sword and Key stuff. Check out all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find our socials there, which mostly have underscores between the words sword underscore and underscore key. That's Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. You can find our ongoing philanthropic endeavors, including this one for Fauna and Flora International. You can donate at any time; does not have to be during a game, and you can impact whatever our next game is. So, just like a lot of our games, you can give crits, advantages, you can give complications. I'll put something there if you want to name a boat. It's going to be great. So you definitely check that out. You can also see our affiliates, which include Greenleaf Geek Dice for the remainder of how long they're keeping their doors open. Eldritch Foundry, if you're looking to do custom mini for any TTRPG, and Wishbone Cosmetics, which is a UK-based makeup brand. So you can find all of the codes and URLs for that. You can also find a link for Monster Crush, which is a podcast I do with my good friend LD. It's about cryptids, creatures, miscellaneous monsters from myth, and how smoochable they are. This episode's about monsters that don't have heads. No head. Which is all based off of one of my favorite vines, which is the one with the guy on his phone that goes no head, and then he smashes his phone and jumps on his skateboard, and it's I miss Vine. What a peak of comedy and storytelling. Um, Other stuff. I'm going to say we will. I'm talking about three things at once. Let's look at the calendar. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna try to organize all of my thoughts into one easy, nifty place. Calendar. Today is September 8th. So, Monster Crush. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to get it out tonight. Might come out tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how much energy I have. We recorded it literally last night, so I'm gonna do my best. But Monster Crush should come out every other week on Sundays. Tomorrow, the 9th at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, will be the premiere of Journey to Book's End. It's our new cipher campaign being run by Mare. It is about fairy tale creatures and characters trying to get back to their home book. So that it seems very exciting and have a great cast. So that'll play for about 12 sessions on Mondays. As Shadow mentioned, on the 10th, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and most Tuesdays, we, Shadow and I, joined by LD, play Gate Night, where we play Baldur's Gate 3, the only video game currently streamed on this channel. On the 12th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, and most Thursdays, except for the 19th, they're taking a break, is our ongoing 5e campaign, just premiered last week on the 5th, but it is Zenith. It is a like big magical city with monsters under the streets and like reputation. Everybody's just kind of a criminal a little bit. It's super exciting. Amazing cast for that. Horizon's Call, our ongoing 5e nautical campaign, will continue on the 14th and every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Humblewood's going to play every Sunday, unless otherwise noted, which I will note here in just a moment. But next week after Humblewood is a one-shot of Midwestern Moms, the TTRPG. We're playing that with a couple of my good friends for my birthday, which is the 16th. So that'll be a charity campaign or a charity one-shot. And then well, the next thing is we have movie nights on our Discord. So you can join our Discord through our beacons. And we do a monthly Ghibli movie watch. So we're watching Castle in the Sky on the 20th. So that's Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's basically our calendar. You can see our calendar on our Discord as well. We'll always note when something is going to be taking the night off as best we can on our socials. The only thing that I would say specifically for Humblewood is on the 3rd of November, so a couple months out. But I will be taking that day off from Humblewood because I'm going to be over on a good friend of ours, Valdrian's channel, for a Extra Life charity one-shot. It's at 8 a.m. Pacific time. As far as I know, there are still slots open if you would like to play in that. It is not an application. It is just a first come, first serve sort of thing. So also to my players here, if you want to give your D&D fix that day, it is an Eberron one-shot about exploring the inside of a Warforged Colossus, like the giant ones. And that, yes, so we're not going to play Humblewood that day, but I'll be over on Valdrian's channel even earlier than I am here for that one shot. So definitely check that out. Otherwise, October is going to be a big charity month. I would love to get applications out on Friday the 13th. So if you're looking to play in any games on Sword and Key in the near future for October, all of our ongoing games are going to continue. We're going to just literally fill the calendar as best we can with as much content as we can. So we're going to have games like Monster of the Week, Stop Flaming Preps, Slayers, others as well. So we will have applications out very soon. Our Discord is always the first place that we post them. Socials is going to be second. So again, if you want to join our Discord, head over to that Beacons link. That, I believe, is it for Sword and Key. I want to extend a special thank you to Kaila for doing production for this session. I want to extend a very special thank you to MikylSandoval for doing the artwork for this campaign and many of our campaigns. Check out Mikyl's stuff. Instagram's the best place. He has his own channel on our Discord too. But Instagram, it's at MikylSandoval. Mikyl, not the way you think it's supposed to be spelled, and then Sandoval. That's how you remember. All that said, thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for donations. It's all very, very much appreciated. What's the Humblewood motto? No body, no crime, no drama. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you all next week.